And the younger me, I'm like, what a prick. Like, listen, get with, like, you know what I mean? The opportunity you have, make the most of it, stay on track, be disciplined. But what?
Yeah, I would feel frustrated. Joseph Parker seems to have been frozen out, you know, at a time when he should be getting his world title shot. He's worked to get that, you know, more so than any other heavyweight out there right now. Oleksandr Usyk is not just holding up the WBO title right now, but he's holding up these fighters that we've been talking about on this show, getting their shot. And these fighters may have to mix it with each other before getting their shot. And that's sort of unfair, really, because one of them's going to lose and he's going to have to climb the ladder again.
Same again. Usyk said no, because
50-50.
Well, okay, so and that's why it's falling down.
Yeah.
You know, so basically said no. I don't work like that. I've given you what you want. Because you're champion, I'm giving you the respect. You're champion. I'm bowing to you. But if I beat you, I'm.
The boxing world is in uproar, and at the center of the storm is none other than Oleksandr Usyk, the unified heavyweight champion. Once celebrated as one of the sport's most fearless competitors, now finds himself under intense scrutiny after pulling out of his scheduled fight with Joseph Parker. What was meant to be one of the year's most highly anticipated bouts has...
I'd like to have jumped in with Joseph Parker instead of...
Parker.
No, you don't fancy it? It was a good fight though, no? Bacoli?
Instead turned into a wave of backlash, with fighters, analysts, and promoters lining up to condemn Usyk's decision. For many, this isn't about strategy or careful planning. It's about outright avoidance. Usyk, once hailed for his willingness to face any challenge, is now...
Joe Parker, and he said, I will beat Oleksandr Usyk. What gives you the confidence that will happen as well, Andy?
Joe is the last challenge left. He can offer something that nobody else can. Craft, cleverness, doesn't take breaks, can fight the pace.
Now being branded as a man running from danger. At the heart of the controversy stands Joseph Parker, the resurgent Kiwi heavyweight, whose relentless run of victories has made him one of the most dangerous and respected contenders in the division. Respected trainer and boxing analyst Andy Lee wasted no time in voicing what he believes really happened. In his eyes, Usyk's withdrawal had nothing to do with injuries, scheduling...
I just think technically, physically now, he's at the weight and he's adapted and he's adjusted. I mean, he's even adjusted and adapted his weight for this fight individually. I mean, he put on how much weight and slowed his actual feet down because Daniel Dubois...
conflicts or bigger plans for the future. Instead, Lee called it exactly what he thinks it is. Fear. Let's call it what it is, Lee said bluntly. Usyk bottled it, plain and simple. He saw Parker in red-hot form and decided to run the other way. That's not the move of a champion. That's a man ducking danger. Lee's criticism...
Title shot. He was supposed to get it tonight, and he will get it, 100%. And I'm rooting for him to become two-time champion of the world. It's not an easy feat. It's one thing, like, he was there, he was on the door of it today. In terms of with the Dubois fight, but it shows you how tough it is. It ain't just like how good are you, it's the stars have got to align. Just to get that champion in the ring takes a bit of like luck as well. So
resonates with what many fans already suspect. Parker has been on an absolute tear, taking on tough opponents and looking sharper with every performance. In Lee's view, Usyk saw Parker's momentum and chose to hide behind excuses, rather than meet the challenge head-on. Champions are meant to rise to challenge.
Joseph Parker is struggling from inactivity at the moment because he's been so used to fighting back to back to back.
Yeah,
it's
not his own fault by any means.
No, it's not a disturbance in the Bacoli fight that it was all going ahead, and you know, Bacoli jumps in. Sorry, you know, all of the disturbance of the Dubois fight. Right. It's just he's in a rock and a hard place, Joseph Parker, because he knows the shot's coming, but he also
challenges. Lee added, Usyk's decision shows the opposite. Former cruiserweight champion Tony Bellew, who has faced both Usyk and Parker, went even further. Bellew dismantled the long-standing narrative that Usyk's brilliance at heavyweight is the same as it was during his dominant cruiserweight run. People talk about Usyk's adjustments like they're some kind of masterclass, Bellew said. But they weren't. They were desperation. When he slowed his feet down against Dubois, that wasn't strategy. It was survival. Against Parker's speed, timing, and power, that would have been exposed badly. Bellew's assessment stings because it cuts through the mystique surrounding Usyk. Once hailed as a master technician, Usyk now appears vulnerable. His style of...
Firstly, Joe Parker is on an incredible run.
I mean, he's beaten Wilder when no one really wanted to fight him. He's beaten Zhang when he was like the bogeyman, and he's just beaten Bakoli, although, you know, on short notice. I mean, that was a dangerous fight to take. So I love Joe. I think he deserves an opportunity. Joe against Dubois, Joe against Usyk, Joe against AJ. They're all great fights.
Evolving not through genius, but necessity. For Bellew, there's no coincidence that Usyk stepped away precisely when Parker was at his peak and ready to exploit those weaknesses. Even Anthony Joshua, who has twice shared the ring with Usyk, couldn't stay silent. Joshua made it clear that Parker deserved the fight and earned his position through hard work and dangerous matchups. Parker earned his shot, Joshua said firmly. He worked his way up the hard way. To see him frozen out like that isn't right. Parker should be in there, not sitting on the sidelines. Joshua's comments carry tremendous weight. Having faced both men, he understands the threat Parker poses. By publicly siding with Parker, Joshua essentially confirmed what many fans and experts suspect, that Usyk didn't step away because of logistics or scheduling issues. He stepped away because he didn't want that fight.
If Tyson Fury back in career, maybe we organization one more fight.
You want a would you have a trilogy with Chris?
No problem. I ready.
Can maybe go Manchester Red Old Trafford for time.
Eddie Hearn also joined the chorus of criticism, emphasizing the stark contrast between the two heavyweights. Look at Parker's resume. Hearn urged. He fights Wilder. He fights Zhang. He takes short-notice opponents. That says everything. That's bravery. That's a warrior mentality. Compare that to Usyk. The moment Parker's name is on the contract, Usyk walks away. The difference is night and day. Hearn positioned Parker as the fighter chasing greatness, willing to risk everything, while portraying Usyk as a champion more concerned with protecting himself than proving himself. Parker isn't just another contender. Hearn continued. He's the people's fighter, and by refusing to fight him, Usyk has exposed himself as something less than the champion he claims to be. Veteran promoter Frank Warren, who has seen decades of boxing politics unfold, spoke with equal bluntness. His words carried extra gravity, because they weren't just coming from a promoter, but from a man deeply invested in the sport's integrity. When I say Parker deserves his shot, I'm not speaking as a promoter, Warren declared.
Now doubt Usyk's injury, Frank?
No, because I haven't seen the video. What sort of dancing is it?
Do you want to see it?
Yeah, show me. Was it Ukrainian dance? I mean, he looks like he's suffering from a back injury there rather than dancing.
Do you think he'd rather not fight Joseph Parker?
Yeah, it caused us a problem because we were negotiating and working towards that fight taking place, and the fact that we had the negotiations, then the injury, that we wasted months on that, and that's given a little bit of inactivity.
I'm speaking as someone who loves boxing. Parker has earned every opportunity through blood, sweat, and sacrifice. Usyk doesn't want it. That's reality. Warren's frustration reflects the growing sentiment throughout the industry. Parker has consistently faced opponents others avoided, taking high-risk fights and proving himself time and again. Despite that, he now finds himself locked out of the title picture, not because of merit, but because of a champion's refusal. In Warren's words, Usyk's decision isn't just about dodging a single fight. It's about disrespecting the entire heavyweight division and the sport of boxing itself. Fans wanted a clash between two warriors, but instead they've been handed controversy, disappointment, and a champion whose reputation has taken a serious hit. As the backlash intensifies, one thing has become clear. Joseph Parker's stock continues to rise, while Oleksandr Usyk's legacy faces its most serious challenge yet, not inside the ring, but in the court of public opinion. The backlash against Oleksandr Usyk continues to grow, with more voices from the boxing world speaking out. Among them, Spencer Oliver delivered a passionate...
I would feel frustrated. Joseph Parker seems to have been frozen out, you know, at a time when he should be getting his world title shot. He's worked to get that, you know, more so than any other heavyweight out there right now. Oleksandr Usyk is not just holding up the WBO title right now, but he's holding up the heavyweight fighters that we've been talking about on this show, getting their shot. And these fighters may have to mix it with each other before getting their shot, and that's sort of unfair really, because one of them's going to lose and he's going to have to climb the ladder.
Critique that captured the frustration many fans are feeling. For Oliver, this controversy isn't just about one cancelled fight. It's about the health and future of the entire heavyweight division. Holding the WBO heavyweight title, Oliver explained, isn't just about having a prestigious belt to display. It comes with responsibility, defending it regularly, pushing the division forward, and proving that you're the best fighter in the world. In Oliver's view, Usyk is doing none of that. Usyk isn't defending the title, or building the division. Oliver said, "He's hoarding the belt, blocking top contenders, and choking the division's momentum. That's not strategy, it's sabotage." Oliver's words struck a chord because they reveal the ripple effects of Usyk's withdrawal. By freezing Joseph Parker out, Usyk isn't just hurting one fighter's career, he's stalling the entire heavyweight picture. Fans tune in to see the best face the best, but Usyk's decision has created confusion and disappointment, leaving the division without clarity. As Parker waits in limbo, Sky Sports commentator Adam Smith highlighted a major concern: time. Boxing careers are...
He needs a big fight, and if Oleksandr Usyk is going to wait and maybe not fight until 2026, Parker needs to be back in the ring. I think it's a really interesting fight against Fabio Wardley. Wardley, of course, who's undefeated still, but lucky maybe, some would say, after being outboxed round after round against Justice Hooney at his beloved Portman Road. But the last thing a puncher loses is that right hand, and that's all he needed, all she wrote that night.
Short, Smith warned. Momentum is everything. Parker can't afford to sit idle, while Usyk hides behind delays and excuses. He's beaten too many top names to be frozen out like this. Smith urged Parker to keep taking meaningful fights, even if they don't carry the same prestige as a clash with Usyk. He suggested a potential showdown with someone like Fabio Wardley, a matchup that would keep Parker sharp and active while Usyk continues to stall. This contrast between the two fighters is becoming increasingly clear. Parker stays hungry and active, while Usyk's inactivity fuels growing frustration. Perhaps the harshest criticism came from Adam Catterall, who addressed reports of the WBO investigating Usyk's injury claims. A viral video recently surfaced, showing Usyk dancing energetically, raising questions about whether his reported injury was legitimate. If you can dance around in a viral video, you can fight. Catterall blasted, "Faking injuries is the lowest of the low. It's not just embarrassing, it's insulting."
WBO called the mandatory slot for Joseph Parker. That is scheduled to be the next fight. However, Mr. Usyk said, "Listen, I've got a few niggles."
It's a slap in the face to Parker and to the fans. For Catterall, Usyk's credibility has taken a devastating hit. Once respected as a fearless champion, he now risks becoming a punchline. Meanwhile, Parker's reputation only grows as the man willing to face anyone, anywhere without hesitation. At its core, this controversy comes down to legacy. Parker's legacy is built on grit, hunger, and the willingness to take on all challenges. He has become the people's champion, representing the spirit of boxing. Usyk, on the other hand, now faces the risk of having his legacy defined not by the fights he won, but by the fights he avoided. The heavyweight division is desperate for clarity. Fans want to know who the best truly is, and that requires champions defending their belts against worthy challengers. By walking away from Parker, Usyk hasn't just ducked a fight, he's left the entire division in a state of uncertainty. If Parker eventually gets Usyk in the ring and pulls off the victory, he would cement himself